Hi, everyone, and welcome to OEM Update, where we talk about everything you need to know about this year's vehicle model lines in order to better sell them. My name is Megan Cusick, editor of Motorcycle and Powersports News, and today we're going to be talking about the 2025 Segway Supervillain. The Supervillain is Segway's long-awaited hyper-performance side-by-side. So, let's dive deeper into what exactly this vehicle has to offer. But for that, we're going to go straight to the OEM source.
Connect every part of your dealership with DX1's cloud-based, all-in-one solution, offering a certified DMS, lead manager, website, marketing tools, and more. All built into one smart, seamless solution. Visit dx1app.com for more information.
Joining me today to give us an overview of the 2025 Segway Supervillain is Derek Jordahl, Vice President of Sales and Aftersales for Segway Powersports. Derek, thank you so much for jumping on to speak with us today.
Absolutely, Megan. Thanks for having me today.
Of course. All right. Now, Segway has been teasing the Supervillain to us for a couple years now. Can you, explain for our audience where we are in the production process at this point and when we can expect the vehicles in dealerships?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you asked. So we are at this point, we'll actually have a production-ready vehicle at the AIM Expo, the upcoming AIM Expo, as you mentioned. Obviously, we can put hands and eyes and butts in seats on that one, so that's going to be great. We do expect to have the finished version in dealer showrooms by the second half of calendar year 2025.
Excellent. And so, the major hype around the Supervillain has been about the hybrid aspect. Can you explain what some of the challenges have been for Segway to overcome during this production and what the results are and where you're at in, this process with the Supervillain?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. With the hybrid, obviously comes a lot of challenges. Obviously a lot of, no OEMs at this point have really brought that technology fully to market because there are those challenges inherent. Some of those that, that we're working with currently are, how to bring that, to work optimally for all markets, for all conditions here in the U.S., whether it be mud, whether it be rock, whether it be sand, so that's one of the main things. The other thing is the powertrain. When you're talking about the hybrid version, now you're talking about a lot of additional horsepower, 300 plus horsepower, which obviously has to have a powertrain that is capable of handling that. And again, handling that in all those, different and various terrains that I just mentioned. So the approach that we're doing and what we're going to see in terms of, again, as you mentioned, bringing that production model to market here, is really going to be our turbo version. Okay, so we're going to bring that turbo version first, still working on fully developing the hybrid version. But as I like to put it, with that turbo version, it's going to allow us to basically run before we sprint. And I don't say, crawl before we walk or anything like that, because we're currently running really hard right now, very close. But again, we want to make sure that we get our feet firmly planted in that hyper performance market in all aspects before fully bringing that hybrid technology to the market. So, and to your earlier point about it, highly anticipated model, we've been very specific, very persistent about making sure that when we do bring this model to the U.S. market, that it's had as much testing as we can get it, whether it be at the factory or real world, or real, U.S. world here in the U.S. So again, us going up against competition that's been in this market for at least a decade, our biggest competitors, we want to make sure that we bring the right product for our dealers and our consumers. So.
DX1 is the only all-in-one dealership management solution for the motorcycle and powersports industry. The perfect combination of a DMS, website, and suite of marketing tools that encourages dealers to invest in their customers and not into separate software to run their dealership. All of the components of DX1 work seamlessly together to increase their staff's efficiency while allowing dealers to be with their customers rather than behind a computer screen duplicating data entry. OEM integrations, automated scheduling, And smart customer notifications combine with the real-time flow of data throughout the dealership to simplify tasks and improve day-to-day operations, all within one system and one login. This secure, cloud-based solution is accessible everywhere and has proven to be a crucial asset in the success of many powersports dealerships today. Contact DX1 now and see why others are switching to the only all-in-one powersports dealership management solution. DX1.
So if you're bringing the turbo version first to the US, what are some of the key selling points of that supervillain, and how is it going to differ from, the villain that you already have on the market?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. Great point of reference. With the villain, I mean, that was obviously Segway's first offering into the performance or high performance market. It's been a great all around, very versatile vehicle at a great price point. Really, what the supervillain is going to be is now that's going to be our main offering into the again, like I referenced earlier, the hyper performance market, right? Differs from the villain in a number of ways. First and foremost, as you can imagine, from a horsepower standpoint, it's over 2 times the horsepower, right? So just that standpoint alone. From a drivetrain perspective, now you've got an automotive-based motor as well as transmission, as opposed to a CVT type of drivetrain. Massively increased travel, suspension, a much better overall ride, more just high performance in general. So really, it's our next level, if you will. It's a great to compare it to the villain, but in almost every aspect, it's just elevating that premium technology meets real world performance for Segway.
Okay. Yeah. And so can you go ahead and break down some of those, specific specs for us on what's going to really make this high performance?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, from, again, starting at the engine level, we're talking about a 2-liter parallel twin cylinder motor producing 235 horsepower. That's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, of course, liquid cooled engine. As you move to the suspension, we're going to be sticking with the K-Man suspension, the 3.0 system from a suspension standpoint. Up front, we'll be running dual A-arms with a stabilizer bar. That'll give us about 20 inches of actual wheel travel. Set up in the rear from a suspension standpoint is a multi-link trailing arm, stabilizer bar as well, producing about 21 inches of travel. We've got that thing riding on 32-inch wheels with 15-inch aluminum bead locks. Okay. From a standard configuration, if you will, we will be, at least from a trim level, bringing one trim initially, kind of equivalent to our current P level trim, which means Premier. So coming standard with full doors, roof, 4,500 pound winch, touchscreen display, 4-point safety harness, restraint system. So those are some of the key, some of the key specs with this machine.
Yeah, as you said, the Segway supervillain won't be making its way into dealerships for a few more months yet, latter part of 2025 here. But when that does finally happen, what is Segway going to be doing to help dealers move the new units?
Sure. No, that's a great question. With that highly anticipated launch, we anticipate there's been some pent up demand out there. So we're counting on that, obviously, to help generate some buzz, to get some door swings going at the dealerships. Along with that, from the factory perspective, right, we're going to be offering some pretty aggressive finance, consumer finance offers to drive additional traffic. But as importantly, a very aggressive MSRP, right? I mean, that also helps move the traffic as well. We are going to make sure that we are putting appropriate inventory levels into the dealerships, so that, again, that might alleviate any concern of, say, overstock, again, but not something that we're terribly worried about at this point. Above and beyond that, obviously, we're going to throw a ton of product support, from the factory to our dealers, make sure that they are fully educated and fully understand this vehicle. Double that down with some support from our amazing marketing team. They're industry renowned. We have a leading field sales marketing team out there that their efforts and their prowess on social media is beyond reproach and really drives demand for all of our Segway products. We're also going to double down on our partnerships with key performance aftermarket companies such as Evo Performance, Super ATV, DRT Motorsports, Assault UTV. So really just kind of flood the zone with not only the vehicles, but the support behind that and the additional performance products that'll take this vehicle even potentially to the next level.
Well, that's fantastic. And I know we're super excited to see a fully functioning production model at AIM Expo here at the beginning of February. But in the meantime, Derek, thank you so much for giving us a sneak preview of the 2025 Segway Supervillain. We appreciate you coming on to talk with us today.
Yeah, appreciate the time, Megan. And look forward to maybe seeing you in Vegas at AIM Expo.
For more information about their side-by-sides or to become a Segway dealer, head to segwaypowersports.us. And as always, stay tuned to MPN for more of the latest and greatest in motorcycle and powersports news.